All right, so I had to hop on here and record a quick review of this movie that I just watched. I literally just got done watching it. I had to get on here immediately. I have a raging headache. I feel like this movie contributed to it. I rented this movie for $7 on Amazon Prime, like $7.99 or something. What a waste of money. The plot of this movie is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Well, maybe not the plot, just I'm sorry, but whoever that was, John Patton Ford or whatever his name is, I don't mean to be too harsh with this. Look, when it comes to writing, the one thing that I hate the most is a character that thinks they're smart, but their actions show that they are very much not. There's a difference when that's like the point, like it's supposed to be a character that's arrogant or full of themselves, and they think they're smart, but they're actually not, and then maybe they fail or maybe they succeed, and it's just like a haphazard type thing. But you can't convince me that a character is smart and got away with it all in the end and had it all planned out when. So let me change the way I'm talking about this. So you've got this movie, How to Make a Killing, is about this guy Beckett, and his mother was disowned by her insanely rich family, and so Beckett now, uh, that he's grown up and he's going to he's like seventh in line or like eighth in line to like inherit all the money from the family because he's still in the inheritance. It's about like $19 billion. So he starts killing the people that are ahead of him in you know in line for this inheritance. And at the same time, when he was a little kid, he met this girl Julia, and he had a crush on her, and he wanted to change his life one day to be worthy of her because she was from like a rich upbringing, whatever. He meets her again before he starts all these murders. He kind of gets the idea to start doing it from her. He's continuously, like, every once in a while keeping in touch with her as the movie goes on, because the movie kind of progresses over, I guess. I don't know exactly how much time, but there's some time passing between these murders. It's not like he's just doing it all in like a week. Anyways, the thing that stood out to me the most in this thing, the thing that I was screaming at the television about, I'm like, yo, uh, are you an idiot? Like, are you stupid? Whoever wrote this movie, he's killed almost all these people and gotten away with it. Like the FBI is a little sketchy, but they don't have a case, and they're not coming after him for it. He gets to the point where he has like one person left to go. It's the grandfather that disowned his mother, her father, and that's all he needs to do. All he needs to do is kill his grandfather and get away with it, and then he'll get $19 billion. $19 billion. Now, apart from that, Julia has been keeping in touch with him, keeping tabs on him, and she obviously has been giving hints throughout the movie in their conversations that she knows what he's up to, that she knows that he's been murdering these people, which is fine. It's not that hard to figure out, especially after she basically gave him the idea. Uh, she even says like at the very beginning, she's like, the first guy you killed was like, he had like a swimming scholarship in college and he drowned. That's a little weird. That's when I started noticing. So yeah, it's not that hard to figure out. So she's been hinting that she knows that he's doing these murders, and when he has one left to go before he inherits $19 billion, she she basically shows up in his office at work. She has an envelope where she's been taking pictures of him. Like, she has evidence that plants him at the scenes of these murders that he's been committing the whole time. And so her idea is she's broke. She's broke this whole time throughout the movie. She's been trying to get a under the table loan from him because he's like in finance, she's been trying to get this under the table loan to get money because her and her husband are broke. And so now we arrive to this point where he's committed all these murders and gotten away with them. He has one person left to go before he inherits $19 billion. He has one person left to go. And she knows this. She has evidence linking him to this. So what does she do? She comes out of nowhere. She shows him these photos, and she says, that loan I've been trying to get from you, you're going to give it to me now, or else these photos are going to get out. Like, your fiance is going to get a copy of these photos. And, you're going to go to jail for all these murders that you've committed, that I know that you've committed. So she says, you're going to give me $300,000 in the next 30 minutes or something. You're going to write a check for $300,000. So let's pause for a minute. She wants him to radically write a check from the finance company that he works for to her husband for $300,000. Not very smart, I would say. That's like, if he's already getting away from the FBI, why would he do something so stupid? Like, that is obviously going to raise some red flags. He writes a random check for $300,000 to her fucking husband out of the company funds. She wants him to do that, or else she will release the pictures. And he does it. And he actually gets away with it. And then he goes on to kill the last family member and inherit all the money. So let's take a moment. That's one stupid thing, because I'll tell you why it's stupid. You have direct evidence linking him to 6 murders, and he only has one more to go, and he's gotten away with 6 of them, or 5 or 6, however many it is. And so he's probably gonna succeed, and he's going to acquire $19 billion of his own personal money. That will be his now. It won't be from a company. It won't be like company funds. It will be his money. $19 billion. And so you are going to fuck that up by making him embezzle $300,000 right before he gets the $19 billion. Do you understand what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you wait for him to finish, kill the last person and get the $19 billion, and then blackmail him for any amount of money? $300,000 at that point is nothing. Or if maybe you're worried that he's not going to commit this last murder and not claim his prize, you could blackmail him to commit that murder. I mean, she does tell him to finish it, but why wouldn't she just let him finish it before she's like, give me $300,000 right now, like in a really fishy way that law enforcement is going to find out about easily? That makes no fucking sense. So that's stupid. And I hate that the whole movie she's like, I gotcha. You're fucking it up here. You're fumbling right now, you idiot. He writes her that check to her fucking husband. They get the money, and then he meets his grandfather, and then it ends up being like a self-defense situation. So he gets away with the murder anyways. It's not even like a murder. It's just self-defense. And so he gets away with it, inherits $19 billion. So now what happens? This is stupid thing number 2. This is the most idiotic thing I've ever seen in my life. He gets arrested because Julia, the girl that was blackmailing him $300,000, her husband, who he wrote the check to, ends up dead. And it looks like a murder. And the murder weapon, the thing that he was killed with, was a letter opener that he just happened to touch while he was in his office writing in the check for $300,000. And so what actually happened was her husband took his own life. So what Julia did was Julia ran in, found the body, and took the note herself and hid it. So now it looks like he murdered this man. And so what she does, she orchestrates this whole thing to make it look like he murdered her husband, this random man who he didn't even murder, ironically. So now he's on the hook for this murder that he didn't commit, and it was like something about crossing state lines, which I don't really understand. I guess maybe if he came from New Jersey to New York, disregard that. So he's on the hook. It's capital punishment, or it's a federal. Since he crossed state lines, it's a federal case, and he's being tried for one murder, and there's a chance that the sentencing will be capital punishment. He'll be put to death by the government for this murder. So what does she do? She lets this whole thing happen. He gets found guilty, put on death row. He's going to be killed, and so she shows up to the jail and has a talk with him and says, "Here's this note. I will release this if you sign all of the $19 billion over to me." Okay, that's better thinking. But my question is, why did you need to orchestrate this giant elaborate thing where you You get him found guilty for a murder he didn't commit when you have photos linking him to 5 or 6 murders that he actually did commit. Why wouldn't you just use that to blackmail him for $19 billion? Why? Why wouldn't you just do that? That doesn't make any fucking sense. And then anyways, she tells him, if you sign the money over to me, I will release the note. You'll be let off. You won't be put to death. And so he signs the money over to her, and then you think, like, the time's running out, she's not coming through. You think, like, she's just going to let him die anyways. She's going to let them, give him the death penalty anyways, and she's just going to run off with this $19 billion. That's smart too. That's kind of smart too, because this guy, this guy just got away with 6 murders to get this $19 billion, and then now he's just going to give it to you? What makes you think he wouldn't kill you and probably get away with it? He's gotten away with 6 others. And so I was thinking, okay, maybe that's her plan. Maybe she's just going to let him die anyways and just run away with the money. No. She comes through and gets him out of prison. And so he's out of prison, and they drive off, and that's the movie. This stupid bitch didn't even have the fucking brain to let him die. He's the only one that knows. Like, is this guy not intimidating to you? I don't know. So all of that is just the dumbest string of circumstances, taking a character and you're telling the audience they're smart. Man, they're smart. Look at this scheme they hatched. They're smart. But they missed like 15 steps. They went above and beyond for no reason. Because the smart thing is to do as little as possible to achieve your goal, or to do it efficiently, to achieve your goal in as few steps as possible. And, as effortlessly as you can. You don't go out of your way to go frame him for a murder he didn't even commit when you have evidence that he did commit 6 other murders. That makes no fucking sense. Other than that, the movie looks good. Glenn Powell, he's pretty all right. I think the movie's a little full of itself at sometimes, besides all this. And Margaret Qualley, not that fucking great in this movie. She kind of, maybe it's just the writing. Maybe it's like she wasn't given the right direction or things to do. She's kind of fucking terrible in this movie. She kind of needs to be taken out of the movie completely. That's what I'm saying. Take Julia out of the movie, and you would have had a good thing. You have a good movie. You have a good premise. You have a good movie. It's simple. It's a good, interesting, exciting, suspenseful movie. Take this dumb idiot out that can't frame anybody to save her life. She's an idiot. And at the end of the day, you wrote her to be like that. And you think you wrote a smart movie. It's not smart. It's fucking stupid, okay? Sorry. At the end of the day, you ruined your own movie. So that's it.